Hey YouTube, it's Catalova. If you want more MotoAmerica content, check out the new and vastly improved MotoAmerica Live Plus app. It's the only place you can catch all the race action in one place all season long. Click the link in the description below.
Rounding out the first row, Rocco Landers starting fourth, Ben Glotty alongside him, and then there's Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, and you see on row 3, another young guy, Alessandro DiMario starting 7th, Rossi Moore, another young kid moving up, and Caleb DeCaro there starting 9th.
Coming back to the class, Romeo Chiavini was starting off row number 4. That's a name we're going to talk about with that new top pro team. Tyler Duffy, Sonia Lloyd was another name that we saw up there on the screen starting in 14th. Lights are out. We're going racing, Roger. It is race number 2 of the BellissiMoto Twins Cup here at Daytona International Speedway.
A great start for Dominic Doyle, able to take his original grid spot in a big crash into turn 1. Looks like Avery Dreher.
99, yes.
Man, just all the guys rushing down into turn 1 like that. Just so easy to do through there. Everybody being aggressive early on in this race.
Saw Gus Rodeo lined up behind Dominic Doyle in second place. We are still under green flag racing.
See Dominic Doyle taking advantage of able to not have to start in the back of the grid early, but you can see Gus being really aggressive early in the second horseshoe there, and Dominic's going to have to try to latch on. Gus has showed incredible pace. Talking about breaking the track record this morning, his previous one, it was a 55-1. He was 2 seconds quicker than the next guy in the warm-up.
We're hearing now that Avery Dreher has been able to get back up, which is why we've been able to stay green. That was also a great start for Ben Glotty on the number 72. He's now found himself into third position, but let's go back and take a look at what happened.
Yeah, you can just see how the track gets really tight right there, and you know, where he was at, two lines just came together. Both guys kind of wanting the same real estate. Couldn't get a super clear angle there, but you can just see how the track, everybody funnels down into here. He was on the inside there. Looked like maybe Ben Glotty, he got in the back of him, and unfortunately for Avery, went down. He's had such a good weekend. It's tough to see it end like that.
You saw him slide across that grate, the drain grate there. Probably felt like a little bit of a rumble strip underneath him. We're going to take another look at this first angle one more time. Again, we have confirmed that he's been able to get up.
It almost looked like Ben was maybe going to try to make the pass on the person in front of him and didn't see Avery there. It was just a racing incident. Everybody trying to, you know, jockey for position as we see this race.
Able to stay in this lead pack now as we are on the second of 9 laps that we're going to watch unfold. But we still have a lot of riders that are right there for it.
See Rocco there making a mistake into turn 6, pushing hard.
He's going to go wide.
Going to lose a couple spots, but you know, able for him, he was able to save it for the most part and able to stay in the draft with the guys that he was racing with. But you could tell he was pushing hard. He was wanting to see if he couldn't stay with Gus.
There is some movement happening. We have Gus Rodeo, Rocco Landers right up in there.
And Dominic Doyle's not, his lap timing is not showing up on the screen, but he is second right now. Gus put a little bit of a gap, but this banking is so long, and we'll be able to see, you know, the power of the Yamaha. If they're not able to close that gap that Gus is able to build during the infield, and you can see these 4 guys. Rossi Moore today looks like he's having a lot better run, racing with this group here for that last podium spot.
You see Alessandro DiMario looking to move himself up a little bit higher into this pack.
Oh, Rocco's in deep. And you can see this battle here with Rocco and Ben Glotty and Alessandro DiMario and also Rossi Moore. Great to see him kind of get in that podium battle, and for Rocco's looking a lot better than he looked yesterday. You can tell he's pushing hard, but he looks a lot more comfortable than we've seen him on the bike all weekend.
Remember, they had made some changes to the bike, and he even said it, that they were getting more and more comfortable as the weekend went, and that's really all that they needed. He didn't have any testing time on this Twins Cup bike, and now they've had 2 days of it.
Yeah, and it's just difficult. The first time you set on the bike is the first practice. But luckily he was here. He got some good points yesterday. And you see this battle here. It's interesting to see the Suzuki looks like it's really good early in toward the end of the draft, but it just seems like it takes it a little longer to get there. And it's just, you always watch the draft and you never know what strategy the rider is playing. Is he messing with them, or is he in the spot that he wants to be? And we see smoke, maybe Dominic Doyle smoking. He's going to be out of the race. Smart heads up by Dom to realize he had a problem and able to pull off the banking.
He put his hand up, alerted the other riders that there was an issue, quickly got out of the way, but you saw him tuck his head down. He did such a great job yesterday. Remember, he had to start at the back of the grid after the injury that he suffered during the Super Hooligans race, had to go to medical. They had to pop his shoulder back into place. He had to prove to MotoAmerica he was fit to ride, do some push-ups, race his way all the way onto the podium position, looking to start in his original grid position today and hopefully make something more of it, but his day is over.
Yeah, his day's over, and for him, unfortunate, not going to score any points today. And had a good race yesterday, and you know, he could kind of lean on that, had some decent points. But for Dom, wanting to go for the title this year, it's going to be a tough hit. As you see Rossi Moore there being aggressive early in the infield there on Alessandro Di Mario. It's not the first time these two guys have battled before. They did this plenty of times in Junior Cup. And
yeah.
It's interesting when you see this draft, all these guys are trying to remember and figure out where do they want to be toward the last lap when they pull out. Can I make the pass? And you see through here what Ben Glotty pulls up in that draft, and it almost looks like he kind of lets off a little bit, like he doesn't want to make the pass before they get into the chicane.
Push it. Doesn't have to worry about anybody right there with him. At this moment, he's not in a battle.
Not in a battle, and for Gus, just kind of carbon copied what he did yesterday, just a little bit quicker. But you go to his best lap, is a 55.7. His lap before that was a 55.6, and then he had a 55.4 that time in that first sector. You can see the little gap that he pulled. He just did his personal best first sector, and you can see what it's did, and he's trying to break that gap, and that's all you can do. Not push too hard. He's not going to catch Gus, but what he needs to do is try to get away from this little group behind him if possible.
To begin our last lap of this race, he's taking the white flag this time by. So if you're going to do it, this is the time you've got to start to think about going for it.
And you see Rossi looking back there, you know, just kind of in the spot where he wants to be. He had a really good run. I think he felt like he could probably made the pass if it was the last lap. But these guys just seem like they're content with where they're at behind Alessandro Di Mario. He's going to need to really put a good infield together, try to break that gap. If not, I think on the last lap, the run to the stripe, he could be a set and duck if he's leading these four out of the chicane and they're close.
On the left-hand side, you're seeing the team of Rocco Landers watching on. He currently sitting in that third position right now as they continue to make their way through the infield section of this racetrack on the final lap of the second race here at the BellissiMoto Twins Cup Championship.
See Alessandro there taking a look back, seeing how many guys are behind him. See Rocco there trying to get in there deep, see if he can get a good run out of here. And Alessandro Di Mario, you can see he really put his head down, but I think with just the way the draft and Daytona, it's going to be difficult for him to maintain that spot.
On the left-hand side, you see our race leader. That is Gus Rodeo. Again, we are on the final lap of this race, but the lead that he built before we got here already over 11 seconds. So all he has to do right now, Roger, is just stay settled in. Don't let the traffic that he's catching get him out of his sorts and just keep on going.
Yeah, and from here, I mean, Gus has it in the bag. He could probably coast in the battle here for Rocco, trying to get through that chicane really well. Alessandro Di Mario was so good in that first split. You can see that the gap that he pulled, he broke the rest of the group, but Rocco was the only one that was able to stay pretty close.
The question's going to be, is it close enough? As we now watch Gus Rodeo going across the checkered flag. He will win the second race, but who is going to take home second as Rocco Landers makes that move around Alessandro Di Mario? Is it going to be enough as he comes to the checkered flag? And he did it. Rocco Landers able to stay in second place. Alessandro Di Mario able to maintain that podium finish and come home in third.
And both those two guys, Rocco and Alessandro, did their best lap, that last lap.
And look at all of that data from Robum Engineering and be able to help Alessandro Di Mario figure it out just a little bit quicker. And at him being there, the race winner for race number 2, Rocco Landers, Alessandro Di Mario, Rossi Moore, Ben Glady,